Good morning, my friends, and welcome to another mindful moment. Today is Sunday in the United States, and it's daylight savings time, so I'm still looking for that hour. It's no longer here. And what a reminder that time comes and goes, days come and go, our life will come and go. And the question is, are we living them? Are we living these moments? Are we living these days? Are we an active participant? Or is life happening to us? Do days come and go? Yesterday we started to unpack mindfulness as not merely being present in the moment, but being present in the bigger moment. The moments of our lives, aware of what's meaningful to us, what our values are, the lessons we've learned from the past, noticing habits and tendencies that don't really serve us very well, and being able to nurture the ones that do. So in this context, remember that mindfulness is much more than being present in the moment. It is a way of living that of course incorporates attention and presence, but it also incorporates emotional intelligence, wisdom. When we're mindful, we're aware not just of the moment, we're aware of what's healthy and unhealthy, what's meaningful and not so meaningful, what's supportive of the person we want to be and what's not. So mindfulness, the ability to bear in mind qualities, values, intentions, a way of living that we find meaningful, lessons that have helped us, and lessons of things that have been harmful. So step one, of course, attention. Learning to be attentive to the moments of our lives. That's why we encourage meditation. And by the way, 28 days of meditation, if you go to my website, you can just click and I can join you for 28 days and see if I can't help you have an established meditation practice. However, that's just part of it. But it's a key part, because if I'm not attentive, how am I ever really going to be present? And how am I going to be able to make healthy choices if I'm not there to make them? So that is number one. Number two is then really being aware of the values that I want to dominate the decisions and choices that I make in life. My personal values, not someone else's. What's meaningful to me? Therein lies the foundation of mindfulness. Whether we call it ethical living, values, my own morality. How do I want to show up in this world? What do I feel is valuable to engage in? What are the ethics I want to embody? Every study, every lesson throughout time, old philosophers, ancient wisdom traditions, current science, our level of well-being is always directly related to how we feel about our actions and interactions with others. In other words, when I do things I feel good about, I'm going to feel good about who I am, as opposed to just doing things that make me feel good. So how are we going to do that if we don't really know what those values are and what are the things I'll feel good about tomorrow in the way that I show up? So a real sense of well-being, of genuine happiness, of a sense of worthiness and value really comes from engaging in life in alignment with my values, in alignment with my ethics, doing things that are meaningful. That's how we live a meaningful life, which is different than just doing stuff. And it's different than doing stuff that just makes me feel good. Pleasurable moments come and go. What lasts is how I showed up for them, my motivations, my intentions. That matters much more and lasts much longer. This third part, so we've got attention, values. Now wisdom being a piece that is just critical. The whole point of mindfulness is to develop wisdom, to live with wise discernment, to notice, what am I doing that actually supports the life I want to live? What am I doing that's kind of unhealthy? And what am I doing that is just plain dysfunctional? How do I label people and project upon them? How do I react sometimes in ways that I don't feel good about tomorrow? And what is the kind of thinking I often don't check? When I look at somebody and stick a label on them and evaluate them simply on a bumper sticker that they have on their car, as opposed to recognizing it's another human being who's just like me trying to find their way. And another piece of wisdom is just understanding with perspective the events in my life. That these outcomes, that's what we talked about yesterday, the outcomes of events aren't nearly the impact on my life as the motivation with which I engaged in the activities that led up to them. So how things turn out is not really as important as how I show up for them. Once again, coming back to values. So wisdom is starting to notice these habits and tendencies that support that way of life that I find meaningful, and what doesn't. What am I rationalizing? What doesn't hold up? So in the context of living mindfully, we've got attention, we've got values and ethics, we have wisdom, and we have the key components of immeasurable qualities: compassion, loving kindness, equanimity, empathetic joy. These elements together can combine for us to fully engage in life, being aware of the bigger moment. So today, I know it's a mindful moment. I wanted to just once again remind you on this very precious day that will never come again, one in which we've lost an hour, to encourage you to be as present as you can in this day in ways that are meaningful to you. So I encourage you, pick a value or an attribute that you really want to embody today, a value that you want to guide your decisions today, and how you want to show up with your loved ones or strangers today that you find meaningful, or an activity that you find meaningful. And let's live today, because we can't add more days to our life. We have no idea how many we have, but we can certainly add more life to the days that we do have. Thanks for joining me once again for today's mindful moment, and let's do it again soon.